We've talked about on Fit Fatherhood Podcast before what it's like to work with a health and wellness coach. Well, tonight we're joined by one of our most recent clients who's been getting amazing success, and we're going to talk about what it's like to work with a health and wellness coach from his perspective. Thank you for being here tonight, Jesse, with us. I appreciate your time. We're going to bring you right up on the big screen there.
All right. Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you, brother. We've done a lot. You've changed our lives a lot. I know I can speak for Zach a little bit from the business perspective, and it's been an honor, at least for me. I think I can speak for Zach again to help you make this transformation on your health and wellness journey. So without further ado, I'll let Zach kind of take over the first couple questions here.
Yeah. So you joined us. You're looking to improve your health, your fitness. So what got you thinking about making some changes, and why did you want to jump into Fit Fatherhood?
Dude, great question. So this goes back to 2013. I'm on my very first deployment. And at the time, dude, I had always grown up like just a real skinny kid, real fast metabolism. I'm 23 years old now at the time, 2013. And I noticed that I was living in Alaska at the time. I was in the military, wasn't really working out or anything, but my clothes were fitting just a little bit tighter. And then I got deployed. And when you're deployed over there, now I'm not, mind you guys, I'm not in the Army. I'm not in the Marines. I was in the Chair Force. Okay. So when you go deploy in the Middle East in the Chair Force, you're working out and you're sitting poolside. That's all you're doing for 6 months. And so me taking my shirt off in public, that was the first time where I looked at my body and I was like, this is not how I remember it. And so that was the start of my real fitness journey and really understanding what it means to lose that weight and to get into shape and to have discipline and all that kind of stuff, delayed gratification. Now, what's really great about that experience for anybody who's never been deployed is it's really easy to get into shape because you don't ever have to face the dilemma of going to Burger King or going to Mickey D's and grabbing an Egg McMuffin, or you don't have to worry about the Papa Murphy's guy, dropping stuff off on your front doorstep. I wasn't faced with any of those things. It was like, all right, I'm going to work out. I'm going to sit poolside and I'm just going to, eat chicken and egg white omelets. And it was amazing. It was awesome. I got in the best shape of my life. And then of course you come back to the States and you slowly start to gain that weight back. As soon as I started having kids, it grew even more difficult to maintain that type of lifestyle and that consistency. Now, fitness has always been a big part of who I am and what I do. I did 15 years in the military, so some sort of physical conditioning was always part of, my identity to some extent. But it was the habits around eating that I have always struggled with. And I've tried a handful of different, I guess you could call them diet plans or fad things or, whatever. And they just never have worked out. I've tried keto, but then it's not conducive for me anyway to an all around lifestyle. And I've tried a handful of different things. I've hired different coaches in the past where they've put together like meal prep stuff for me. But then the difficult part for me, as you guys know, being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, being a real estate investor, being a father, being a husband, it's like, okay, did I all of a sudden just walk myself into having to create 4 or 5 different meals while my family's not going to eat chicken and rice every day.
Right.
So then it's like, this isn't sustainable either.
Yeah.
And so just knowing you guys and hearing about and seeing what you guys had put together, it was very obvious and apparent to me that despite my best efforts of trying to get back into the shape that I was during that first deployment, what you guys were doing was something different. The discussion that you guys were bringing was very different from anybody else I had ever worked with in the past. And so that's what got me to reach out and learn more.
You mentioned something there. You kind of just brush right over it, but the lifestyle and, there's all these different, I don't want to call them fad diets because they do work as long as you stick with it. But it's about building a lifestyle that's conducive to being a dad, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have people in our group that have 6 kids and entrepreneur or just like career driven, individual, and fitting it all into the lifestyle and making a lifestyle that's conducive for that. You mentioned too, like, going to the gym is not something that's difficult. Well, I don't want to say that it's not difficult for you, but it is part of your lifestyle. It is something that
Yeah.
you do very consistently. And so that's not something that we've actually worked on too much together. We've been, like you said, focused a little bit more on the diet side of things. But when you came into Fit Fatherhood, did you have a specific goal, like maybe a target weight, or hey, I want to clean up the diet in some form or fashion? What did that
Mhm.
kind of look like?
Yeah. So at the time I was about 227, right when I came in. And my goal weight is to getting down to 210. Now, the hard part for me, whenever I get asked, like, what's your ideal weight? It's like, I never know. Like, I can pull up a picture of like Arnold Schwarzenegger and be like, dude, I don't know what I need to weigh, but I want to look like that.
Yeah.
Maybe not to that extent, but you get the point here. And so I figured, you know what? Let me start with getting down to about 210, and then let's just kind of assess what that looks like from there. And so when I first joined, and I told you guys, hey, these are some of the things that I've been struggling with. The lifestyle change, the having to cook 10 different meals a day between me and my kids and my family, and the intermittent fasting stuff was kind of hard because I didn't have anything like meal prepped. So I would intermittent fast for 18, 19 hours a day. As soon as my eating window hit, it's like, all right, what do I got in the fridge to warm up?
Yeah.
And so I would find something somewhat healthy, at least I thought it was. But then when it's in the microwave, when I put it in the microwave for like 3 or 4 minutes, I'm scrounging through our pantry, and I'm like, "Oh, my kids got goldfish. Let me grab a handful of goldfish real quick while my
Yeah.
food's waiting up." And you never think about those kind of things. You're like, "Oh, a handful of gold." Dude, I'm the master of justifying things. I'm like, "Oh, dude, a handful of goldfish. This ain't gonna put me over. It ain't gonna do anything. Grab a handful of goldfish, and then I've downed 2 granola bars or something by that time. Then my food's done." Well, you do that every single day, and those calories start to stack up, and before you know it, by the end of the week, you're in a surplus significantly. And I really love the way that you guys approached it, because you guys approached it not from the standpoint of, all right, Jesse, we're going to get you another meal plan, and you're going to do all these things, and we're going to get you something else that's a little more, tolerable, which we've already been down that road. I loved your guys' approach, and I've never seen or heard about it approach from any other fitness coaches.
Mm.
And this is something that I really, really loved. You guys took the time to listen and problem solve, as opposed to giving me a cookie cutter, just go do the thing.
Mm. Like we learned it from somebody.
Well, I loved your guys' approach. You guys really took the time to listen, and we worked through it together. And what your guys' strategy for me was exactly what I needed. It was literally perfect. Like it was a godsend.
Mm.
You guys were like, hey, you know what, Jesse? It's your habits right now that suck. Now, you guys didn't say that's me using that terminology, but my habits did. My habits sucked. And you guys were like, Jesse, let's just start off with getting you the right habits. I think that's the most difficult thing right now. Let's not weigh everything. Let's not make 10 different meals. Let's do something where it is simple and easy for you. And one of the things we came up with was, let's just start with meal prepping. And I was like, great. Let me even make it easier for you. I want this so bad. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And so right off the get-go, it was like I went and bought a couple of rotisserie chickens for like $4.99 from Costco.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
And then went and bought a big bag of frozen sweet potatoes, a big bag of frozen broccoli. And I went home and cooked it. As a matter of fact, one of the things we talked about was I wanted to be able to include my kids into more of the things that I'm doing, not just the business side, but also the fitness side. I think it's so important, especially nowadays. You're seeing all the bad stuff that's in foods. I mean, you're hearing the FDA crack down on like yellow dyes and red dyes and like all these crazy things that are now coming about. It's more important than ever to be cognizant of our health. So you guys encouraged me to not only make this change for me, but now you gave me the invitation to include my family in on these things. And so now I get to spend time with my kids, like showing them how to make food and how to meal prep and how to create these healthy habits. So it's transcended just having a major effect on me and the weight that I've lost so far, but it's also affecting my children and my family. And those are pieces to this relationship with you guys that you can't put a price on. It's invaluable to me.
I love it.
Mhm.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I don't want to step on Zach's toes here because he has another question. But you mentioned the $4.99 chickens at
Yeah.
Costco, and like a lot of the times like people think, oh, eating healthy is so expensive,
Mm.
but a
Or harder.
$4.99 chicken, like
That was
or
always my
difficult.
objection, man. It's like so
Yeah.
expensive to eat healthy. You don't got a Whole Foods up here.
No,
Mhm.
you go to Costco, you get the chicken, you make it easy, you go get the frozen vegetable. Could the vegetable be a little bit better if it wasn't frozen? Potentially, but like you're getting 99% of the benefits than
Yeah.
from that frozen vegetable, and you're making it super easy on yourself, and that 4.99 chicken will feed everybody that it needs to feed at least for a meal. Uh,
Yeah.
and and that's better than going like you can't fill up on McDonald's the way you can fill up on that $4.99 chicken. That's just my yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get off
Yeah.
my soapbox thing.
No, it's keeping it simple. That's what we always want to do. Like we want to keep it as simple as possible. I mean, you're a business coach, real estate. You're our business coach. You're our real estate coach. Your thing has always been like simplify, simplify, simplify. Like what can we cut out? Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't ask about all the different CRMs. Like what's the thing that's going to move the needle most? And it's just doing the simplest thing. And is it perfect? No, but we're not looking for perfection here. We're looking for consistency. And
Right.
you've found that just like the simplest change, and that's the goal. And it's making it as easy as possible. And then eventually you're going to hit a plateau, and we've gotten there. Now it's what do we want to do? How can we shift it? And you're also a very ideal client because you are very driven. So that makes our lives easier in that like we come up with a game plan based on what you've told us, but you actually implement it and do it consistently. And that's the biggest thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You guys, again, your guys' approach was so unique. I think every fitness coach should take a chapter out of your guys' book. They're trying to put a blanketed game plan over every single client. And it has to start with the habits. There's an identity change that has to happen. You have to see yourself as a fitter person. You have to want to be fitter. You have to think the way that a fit person thinks. You have to delay your gratification. I mean, dude, we had a birthday cake, or I'm sorry, we had a birthday. My son turned 6 this last weekend. Dude, guess who ate 0 of the birthday cake?
Nice.
This guy right here didn't even have a piece.
Yeah.
So it starts with having those habits in place and those identity changes, which you guys have invited me to partake in, man. And then, like you said, you make those habits. This is a journey. This isn't like you join something and then boom, 20 pounds in week 1. There's an identity change that has to happen that you guys understand that I'm not seeing a lot of other individuals implement. And I love that you're bringing those things to your clients. And then for me, like you said, I hit a plateau and it's like, okay, cool. You're consistently having meals prepped and ready to go. You've eliminated decision fatigue. You don't have to think about what you're going to do or what, you guys have made it so easy for me. And then now I've hit that plateau and it's like, okay, now you guys have me weighing my food, taking screenshots, sending you guys, that data. So then we can kind of further refine that and continue making progress. And it only makes it possible to be able to start weighing food and all that stuff when I have these habits already in place.
Yeah.
Which is what most fitness coaches, that's where they get it wrong, is they grab a brand new client and they instantly, it's like, all right, I'm going to put a meal plan together. You need to go get a shopping list of these 150 items. And then I need you to go home and I need you to spend the next 6 hours weighing all of your freaking food. And it's like, oh my gosh, no one's going to stay consistent with this. No wonder people are having such a problem losing weight. And your guys' approach was spectacular.
Appreciate that. And that's not to say that we can't do that, but
And
for most people, I think it's
lifestyle.
That's not the
Right.
It's what you're looking for, right? And you're
Yeah.
looking for, I mean, you showed us a picture of what you want to get to. And to do that is going to require counting and weighing and measuring and all that. And you're okay with that. You're okay with doing that. But we didn't jump right to that even still, right? We still made
Right.
sure, all right, we got to make sure you got the habits down. And now that you have that, now we can dive further into it. And it's just meeting you where you're at. And that's the ultimate goal. And again, everybody's got a different end goal. Nathaniel and I are not looking to get super shredded and ripped. Could we do it? Yeah, but we want to maintain that balance. I ate a bunch of candy yesterday at the Easter party that I was at. Whatever, I'm back to it, right to it. It's one of those things where, could I do it? Sure, but that's not where I'm at right now. So it's meeting you where you're at, and to do that, you need to understand where you're going, and that's our goal there. And so it feels really good to hear you saying that, hey, I felt heard, and we came up with a good plan that fit me, and that's ultimately what we're trying to do here.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, man. We try to keep these pretty short. It's been, again, it's been amazing having you as our mentor and coach on the business and the real estate side of things. So being able to give that back in a sense to you and watch the transformation that you've made, just like you've probably seen from us, it's been a big blessing, and it's been really a cool ride. So appreciate you. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. For those of you out there that are listening and interested in learning more about Fit Fatherhood, join the Facebook group, get connected to us. We love helping people out, just as we've helped Jesse out. This will be live tomorrow, Tuesday night. This is pre-recorded. And Zach's got his webinar or Thursday night call this week. What are we talking about, Zach?
Talking about consistency.
Hey, go.
Keeping it pretty vague there, but about how consistent you need to be to see results, and you'd be surprised that it's actually not that consistent. So doing something is better than doing nothing.
Yeah. Well, until next time, appreciate y'all. Thank you, Jesse, for being here.
Of course. Thank you, gents. Appreciate you. Love you both.